the Conservative Party's disinformation machine. We're going to read into this article from Byline Times, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from Byline Times with the headline of the Conservative Party's disinformation machine. Sadiq Khan is the latest victim in a sustained campaign of misinformation and outright lies from the Conservative Party. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share it across social media so others are notified of this video. Now, they pulled out they done a video on Sadiq Khan, the Conservatives, last night. Depicting people fleeing in terror when it wasn't even in London, it was somewhere else, to paint this picture that Sadiq Khan is causing terrible and audacious crimes in London and he must be stopped at all costs, sort of thing. And although you can't see the tweet completely here, yeah, I can't show you it completely here, but although you can't see it completely here, the very fact that the Conservatives put this out, I really honestly did. If I had the video footage, I would show you the video footage of the video of it, guys, because I really think it's very distasteful of the Conservatives. But it is a desperate attempt, desperation from the Conservatives to do anything and everything to misinform the public about how dangerous Labour are and how dangerous their members and their policies. And they are really ramping up as much powerful misinformation about Sadiq Khan as they possibly can. Now, I've said this before and I've said this again, and as someone who is going to be voting in the London mayoral election, while I don't always approve of Sadiq Khan and some of his policies, I certainly have no intention of voting for the Conservative candidate who doesn't even know how much a bus fare costs, who doesn't even know some of the simple basic things in London. She got absolutely humiliated on Nick Ferrari's LBC radio show, and that just summed up just how pathetic she was, Susan Hall, the Conservative mayoral election candidate. I think if, in general, in all seriousness, I think if the Conservatives actually put out a credible candidate, they would actually have a chance of winning this. But even with this misinformation machine that behind them, I generally think it's not going to work. But it is leaving a sour taste in my mouth about how far they're willing to go. They have been hit so many times on Twitter, X, for misinformation, and it's been highlighted so many times on X. It's quite extraordinary, and both Rishi Sunak and the Conservatives and their MPs, they don't care. They don't care. They're putting it out there for people to see, and people are seeing it, and that's the thing. The Conservatives have taken the video down, but I wish I could have seen it for myself. But it just shows just how far they are prepared to go, and we've already said this before, guys, and I'll say it again. This election year is going to be very, very dirty. The Conservatives are going to go really dirty, and they're going to do absolutely every single tactic to beat Labour. They're going to use deepfake audios, deepfake videos, artificial intelligence, you name it. They will do absolutely anything to smear and portray the Labour Party as the most diabolical, horrifying party you will ever encounter, despite the fact that we have had the most horrifying, undignifying Conservative Party running the country for the last 14 years. But apparently they say Labour will be worse. I don't think Labour will be worse than what we've had for the last 14 years. And like, I have my severe criticisms of the Labour Party, but I will say I'd take my chances with Labour than I would with the Conservatives, because I'm quite frankly sick and tired of Conservatives. I really, really am. But that's just me. But I know some of you guys would rather vote for Reform or vote for Lib Dems or Greens rather than the Conservatives, and I would say rather than Labour, and that's entirely your choice to do so. I disagree with you for those who vote for Reform, but considering that they would impose austerity if they were to ever gain power. Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah, they would impose austerity on you if you haven't had enough of it, if you voted for Reform. Just wanted to put that out there. Regardless of how you feel regardless on immigration, you'd be basically, your public services will be getting worse, not getting better under Reform. So I would recommend checking out their policies on their website. But back to this. it's just not ideal. Like, I really wish, yeah, we didn't have this kind of disinformation machine. And the thing is, they think it's okay. The Conservatives, they think this is okay, and it's not. It's really, really bad. There is nothing democratic about putting out misinformation and whatnot, any way, shape, or form, and it's disgusting. It really, really is, guys. So there needs to be greater awareness among the public for the risk of online disinformation. The Deputy Prime Minister Oliver Dowden told MPs on Monday, adding that citizens should be made aware of the need to treat images online with much more scepticism. Yet within minutes of Downing warning about rogue states spreading misinformation, the Conservative Party have released its own attack ad, falsely claiming that London had become a crime capital of the world. Hypocrite, guys. Absolute hypocrite. The video, which later had to be deleted and re-edited after social media users pointed out it had been illustrated with footage from a terror scare in New York, and is still available online despite containing a series of other falsehoods. I have not seen it. I still can't find this video, guys, but send me a link in the description if you have the link for it. Its opening sequence continues to suggest that Londoners have now become so dangerous that citizens have been forced to either stay at home or go underground, which is obviously untrue. What a load of nonsense. Like, again, like, I've worked in London. I've been through the capital and all this, and this premise that it's so dangerous that you have to stay at home forever is complete and utter garbage. It's absolute garbage. It really, really is. Yes, crime is an issue in the capital. There's no question about that. And Sadiq Khan definitely deserves criticism for his handling of crime in London. No, I'm not disputing that at all. No, but to say that it's gone as far as you need to stay at home forever and stay underground is just complete and utter BS, guys. It really, really is. In fact, the latest crime stats actually show that London is amongst the safest cities in the world, with violent crime lower than they are in England as a whole. Well, okay, well, they're saying that. Well, I've seen different, but... And while the video claimed that Khan had seized power in the city, he had in fact won 2 mayoral elections by a healthy margin and is currently forecast to win a third by an even larger distance. The Conservative Party misinformation video was also linked to a website detailing claims of what life under Labour would look like. Again, I would take my chances with Labour than what I've gone through the last 14 years of Conservative. One of the pictures used to demonstrate this supposed redirection being experimented under the opposition was a derelict house in Peterborough, a city which until recently was Conservative-led and is now independent without any Labour control. So they're using a derelict house in Peterborough, which has nothing to do with Conservatives. A source close to Sadiq Khan told Byline Times that the party's latest attack on him, led by their candidate Susan Hall, was true to form for the Tory campaign. It is deeply misleading attack, intentionally taking down London from a candidate who appears to have no love for the city she aspires to lead. The video is not a one-off. However, in recent days, Hall has repeatedly tied crime rates in the city to Khan's closures of police stations to Londoners, while refusing to acknowledge that the closure programme actually began under the last Conservative Mayor Boris Johnson. Yes, police stations that closed in London were under Boris Johnson, not Sadiq Khan, the majority of them. Let's be clear about that. Not everyone in the party appears willing to go along with such misinformation. However, the party's former Minister for London, whose bid to become their candidate for City Hall was reportedly blocked by Rishi Sunak, shared his discomfort with the party's latest attack ad. A post shared on X by Scully attacked the deeply negative video about London and warned that the party should not be disrespectful to Londoners. Yet, showing such disrespect to the city of 8 million people appears to be a big sign of the Conservative Party's political strategy. Despite briefings from both sides that the race between Khan and Hall is close, recent polls suggest that Labour's incumbent is more than 20 points ahead of his rival. As a result, the Conservatives appear to be putting little effort into their ground campaign. At her campaign launch last weekend in what appeared to be a car park in Uxbridge Hall, who is not joined by Sadiq Khan or any other senior cabinet ministers, and where Khan's own launch last week was accompanied by Keir Starmer and attended by multiple media outlets, the Conservative Party appears to have deliberately excluded any journalists from attending Hall's launch. Why? Why do they not want media joining her? They don't want to talk? What are they afraid of? What are they afraid of talking to the media? If you're not even afraid to talk, like the guy's literally the Sadiq Khan is literally out there. He's taken criticism The guy goes on LBC and takes phone calls. From the public. You've seen the guy, like, he's taking criticism from members of the public on the streets. Susan Hall, she's not even going to take questions from the media. Talk about a coward. A spokesperson for Hall did not respond to a request for comment on why journalists had not been included. However, the Conservatives appear to have abandoned any real hope of fairly defeating Khan, but they do appear determined to continue using the city as a tool for their campaign for the rest of the country. By portraying London and other Labour-led cities such as Birmingham as crime-ridden hellscapes, no matter what the facts actually show, the party is attempting to send out dog whistle messages to its potential supporters in other parts of the country. This strategy, which includes the Prime Minister regularly mocking Keir Starmer's own London background, is a clear attempt to do down the UK's capital city in an attempt to win votes elsewhere. It's insulting to Londoners. It really, really is. I know a lot of people resent London because it has all the power and all the wealth and all that. And as somebody who lives on the outskirts of London, who has worked in London, and I want to make this clear, it's absolutely right that more wealth should be distributed amongst the rest of the region and rest of England, and not just in London. It is unfairly. We do take an unfairly amount of distribution, and I agree with that. But to smear London as some kind of crime capital of the world is absolute nonsense, guys. It's nonsense. It's not true in any way, shape, or form. It really is not. This strategy has sometimes backfired, most recently when the party's then Deputy Chairman Lee Anderson falsely accused London's Muslim mayor of being in a league with Islamic extremists. However, it's not a new one. Yeah, and the guy still has not faced anything for them. When Khan first stood to win back City Hall for Labour in 2016, the Conservatives subjected him to sustained campaign attempts to tie him to Islamic extremism. At the time, one senior London Conservative described him as being a dog whistle campaign in a city with no dogs. Yet, while such dogs whistle misinformation may have little effect on Londoners themselves, Rishi Sunak and his party still appear to believe that it will have an impact elsewhere. Just like the Brexit campaign, which relied on spreading false claims about millions of Turks heading to the UK, the Conservative Party's latest campaign is designed to play on the worst prejudges of swing voters, while abandoning any interest in accuracy or the truth. So while we have heard much from the Conservatives in recent week about the threats of deepfakes and online extremism, the reality is that when it comes to inciting division and spreading misinformation, there are few parties who have proven more adept at it than the Conservative Party. And it is true. That it is absolutely true. And well said by Adam Bradkoff from Byline Times, their political editor. And a link for it will be in the description down below, guys. I couldn't agree more on that last bit there. I've actually seen, they're saying crime has gone down. I've actually seen the opposite reports in on that. So on that really. And even though I consider Byline Times to be one of the most favourable, most accurate terms of outlets out there, but I could be wrong on other sources that I've seen out there. But final point, obviously, I will say is that Sadiq Khan, again, like, he's not. I understand people's criticisms of him. I generally do, but I think he's actually done a very good job for London in circumstances. He's done very, very well. And I do believe that this is his last 4 years as London Mayor. I really do think this is his last 4 years. I think it's 4 years or less than that. This is his last run as London Mayor. I don't think he's going to carry on after this. I think it's after a while you do want somebody different. You do need something fresh. But Susan Hall is not the answer. You need someone who actually knows London and understands it, and she has no understanding of it whatsoever. But it is very, very likely that Labour are going to, Sadiq Khan is going to continue on as London Mayor. But this disinformation machine that the Conservatives are battering out is really distasteful and vile, to say the least, guys. But what do you guys make of it? What do you make of the disinformation machine that the Conservative Party are? Maybe you're someone who actually believes it and thinks that everything the Conservatives are saying is true. If so, tell me why. Why do you think what they're saying about London is true? Because that's not the picture that I see from what I've seen, read and heard, and even my time in London. But maybe you have a difference of opinion from your experiences in London or where you work and what you go through. So share your thoughts about the disinformation machine, share your thoughts about London itself, and you share your thoughts about Sadiq Khan in the comments section down below. If you found this video informative, please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video, and subscribe because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further and financially support me in the work I do here, you can do so episode by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content there as well. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to catch you all very, very soon.